All right, let me show you what we got going on here today. This summer we put in a spring development here. In other words, we caught some wet spots there on the hill, captured the spring water, brought them down to this tank, made a tank for the animals to drink out of around our barn here. So we give the option of 3 different entrances into this tank so that 3 different lots can drink out of it. But anyway, what our main goal was to dry up a spot where we're walking right now. Water laid there all the time, the year round. And our animals, the cows right now, they have to use this pathway here to get to the front pasture field that we have. So we did a great job catching 2 different springs, but this hillside is just known, and I mean, it's everywhere. Wet spots probably ever 50 or 60 feet around through here above here. So we put a diversion ditch just to try to catch anything that we may have missed. But we've had a pretty good dry spell, and right now I found a wet spot coming in here. So our job today is going to be to try to capture this water and divert it across the roadway so that it's not going to be laying wet here all winter, because this gets really, really bad. I mean, it'll get up to their bellies trying to walk through here. So I thought I would give you just kind of a miniature version of how we did the spring development when we did them up there. And you'll basically see how we did that in this little project here. So that's what we're going to get into. I will take you guys up and show you a little bit more on the spring development and how we did that. So where we're standing right now has always been, as long as I've lived here, a really wet spot. It had been dug out and made into a little pond for animals to drink out of in the past, but it created a lot of problems for us because we come out of our barn lot, kind of all roads led to this. So it was quite a mess. So we decided last year to go ahead and try to fix that problem. And what we did was dug down and caught the source. And I'll show you that later in the video, how I did that. But caught the source in 2 different spots. And then we drained them to this, which is called a catch basin. So 2 different water lines were connected, teed, and they both ran to this catch basin. And from that catch basin, then they run down to the water tank. So it's all gravity fed. So you got to have your, you have to have it set up so that it will gravity feed. But it is a great way to water animals with good, clean, fresh water. So it goes into a inlet pipe from underneath into that tank, and then it'll overflow into another pipe and run out into a side ditch over there towards the mule. So that way you don't have any mud. It's not running the tank over and making a muddy area around the tank. So I'll show you inside here. Okay, so you can kind of see the little trickle coming in there, and they say a water stream the size of a pencil 24/7 will water 25 head of cattle. So that's doing that. It's real close to that. So it runs in from the 2 springs on that side and runs out to my spring tank on that side. So basically, this is just to let sediment, any kind of sediment that might come into the pipe, settles out in the bottom of this, and then it's clean water that runs out that pipe there. So let's go get things together. Got to get the skid steer. I'm gonna have to do some hand digging, but I think I can do some of this with a skid steer, and I'm all for that. So we'll go get parts and the skid steer, and we'll be right back and start in on this. right, we're getting ready to set in on the most important part of the job, and that's finding the actual source of the water. Now, it could be in 2 or 3 different spots here. So I'm gonna dig along the bank there, and we're gonna look and see. You always wanna go uphill and find it at its highest point, and then make sure that you dig below it so that you'll be sure to catch it. So what we're gonna do is do a little digging, see what we can find. I mean, there's water here, but more than likely, it's running to this point from on up the little path here. Okay, I don't see any actually running out of the bank here. I'm thinking that it's right up here where I was digging. There's a lot of water standing down in here, so I'm thinking it's running this way, but we're gonna play it safe, and we're gonna ditch the length of it and lay our perforated pipe in there, in that ditch. And I also wanna go ahead and ditch this way. We're gonna use a Schedule 40 PVC pipe hooked into the perforated pipe. Okay, so right there, pretty obviously, is the source of the water. Coming out in pretty much one spot. So I dug a ditch alongside the fence there, kind of lengthways. And then it just elbows right here, and this will be our outlet ditch. So we're gonna get the pipe, and we'll lay some plastic down on the bottom of this ditch here first, and then we'll lay the perforated pipe just on top of that plastic. Okay, so what I've done is just lay the pipe out here to kind of get an idea of what I need. So I'll go ahead and cut. We just have the perforated field tile in that ditch catching the water, and it elbows into a Schedule 40 pipe to carry the water out where the cattle and possibly tractors or the skid steer or whatever will be crossing. So what we need to do is cut the pipe. We're going to lay the plastic in on the lower side of the ditch so that if the water, when it comes into the ditch, it doesn't bypass the pipe. So the plastic will help to act as a dam to catch it. So we'll go ahead and cut this. Looks like the water is coming out right there. So we're definitely below it, which is good. This needs to be below where the source of the water is. So I'll show you a good old Appalachian connector. Slit the pipe in about 3 places. Alright, so you cut her down till you have something that looks like that, and then good old-fashioned duct tape. The Schedule 40 will slide right into that pipe. Can you really ever go wrong with duct tape? Alrighty, so lay that in the ditch. Now you don't want it to come up on this wall since the water's coming out that direction. So you just want it on the lower wall and under the pipe. Now, I don't have a cap, so a good rock makes a good cap. That'll keep anything from running down in it that shouldn't be. We need to build a dam across here so that the water doesn't run around the PVC pipe and still you've got this ditch wet. So we'll just do that with clay. How you doing, Boone? You helping? All right, so I think that's pretty well got it sealed off. All right, you can kind of see what I've done here. So I'm ready to put some gravel in. Now we cover it with, I just used some wash gravel. Really just about any kind of small gravel will work. It's basically to keep that pipe from getting too much sediment in it. The gravel helps the water to go into the perforated pipe better. All right, so basically, other than filling the ditch up, we've got it. Not a whole lot to it. We'll see how this works here. And there's at least 2 more spots in this road that need the same treatment. We will take the skid steer and we're gonna have to come in from the opposite direction here and put the dirt over the pipe, and hopefully that has this project completed. So if you have any questions there, just leave them in the comments. I'll do my best. I'm no expert by any means, but I've been a part of a few spring developments, and I hope that I could help you kind of see how to capture that water, and then you can do what you want with it. Basically, I'm just running it out of the way. But thank you guys for watching. I'll catch up with you all in the next video.